here with James and Angela, and we've got baby Leo here. 4 weeks old. That's a fresh little baby.
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit about how, I love that James and Angela in here. Angela, when do you due?
November 6th.
November 6th. So this is an interesting time for you. How are you feeling about things? How's the pregnancy been?
Oh, it's been great. I feel good.
Nice.
I'm excited.
James, any anxiety at all over what's going to happen on November 6th?
Yeah, a little nervous about that, but
yeah,
it's exciting. Yeah.
I think it's probably a little bit nerve-wracking for both parents, but the thing about the mom is often that baby is with the mom constantly from day one. If you plan on nursing or even bottle feeding, whatever you plan to do, it's often the mom that's the first point of contact.
Absolutely,
It can be a tough time for dads figuring out how they can get in there and play a role. What do you suggest?
Yeah, because I know that they want to play a role, but they tend to hover in the background. And they almost find, like, they become afraid of even holding the baby sometimes. I've actually seen that. They're like, yeah, okay, have it back now, have it back, you know, the minute the baby starts to cry. And I think a lot of it is we're all guilty of not teaching them.
Yes.
Now, Tracy, you may know as a mother, if you see Leo doing something and it's not quite right, you take over rather than teach.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It's just easier. I find that it cuts down on the time.
There you go. So we're all guilty of having done that. So I think some of the things that James can be doing, and you've got to tune into, first of all, prior to November, observe. Observe other babies, other moms and what they're doing, because you said you've got nieces and nephews. Get in there right now and start changing the diapers. So, because you know what? Practice makes perfect.
Right.
Now, you may get poop up to the elbows at some point. It doesn't always happen, don't worry. There is going to come times when, you know, you'll be able to perfect that. I'm just going to pass the baby off here. So why don't we have you hold it a little while now?
Sweet.
So we can just get used to that there.
So adorable.
Okay. So some of the things that you can be doing, James, is, you know, when mom's feeding, whether she's bottle feeding or breastfeeding, sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable on the back. You could take it on yourself to tune into that and, you know, perhaps put a cushion down the back of her.
Okay.
One of the things you're going to find is in the early days, you're not going to get a lot of sleep, okay? Mom needs to sleep when the baby sleeps, and you'll have to encourage her to do that. I think so. One of the things you could be doing is, if let's say the baby's not sleeping and getting a little fussy, take it on yourself to put the baby in the stroller, go for a walk for a half hour, and pack mom off to bed. You know, that's definitely some of the things that you will really appreciate. I think the key here as well, Tracy, is kind of thinking ahead of time. So, well, why don't you pass the baby off to Matt now? Let's see how Matt gets on.
It's actually James.
Oh, sorry, James. I did call you Matt. I'm sorry.
Here's the
did.
thing, and I think you sort of touched on it, Robina, this whole idea of James not necessarily waiting to be asked to do anything. Good job, James. You're doing just great there.
Yes.
It's tough to jump in there when you think that what you're doing might not be the right thing. And I think that the biggest thing for most of us parents out there is to see, you're doing great. You're doing great. The biggest thing is to know that when someone takes that baby from you or puts your baby in a stroller and says, I'm going to take that baby for a walk or I'm going to change the diaper, you feel so much gratitude towards that person. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be the bus driver.
Yes.
Like, if anyone wants to take this child for just a little bit and change this diaper and do the feeding and just let me sit for a second, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important, the whole idea of taking initiative and just getting in there and saying, I see you're feeling tired. Let me just take him out for a walk.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say
alone.
is don't wait to be asked.
Don't wait.
Just try and think ahead about what needs to be done and basically how you can help. Don't worry. It's like, oh, the look has changed already because the baby's starting to get a little fussy, because these are some of the moments that you're going to have to learn to handle. Why don't you try putting the baby on your shoulder and standing up? And baby might want to be over the shoulder a little bit better. Without standing up first, hold the baby's back and the baby's head. There we go.
Nice.
Oh,
Good work.
I think he deserves a round of applause for that.
See, it becomes as instinctual for
a mom,
for the dad as it does for the mom. It's just a matter of doing it.
Do some squats. That'll stop him fussing. It really does.
Squats work.
Squats really
work with the baby.
Honestly,
they really do.
Do a few
like just up and down.
Oh,
wow, you do a good squat.
Now we're at the gym.
That's good. That's impressive. impressive.
Just a little up and down.
I
It'll
don't
help
want
with the
to.
fussing.
I also don't want this segment to come off as a generalization because I also was afraid to pick up babies before I had a baby.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not just a man-woman thing. I didn't feel like I had that maternal instinct at all. This is all learned behavior.
It really is. And you know, one of the things that you need to do, and this is, I swear to this, and I always have, is your baby teaches you everything you need to know.
Right.
You listen to the cues. You will learn very quickly when your baby is sick, the cries, the baby is hungry, when the baby's just having gas or fussy moment. Your baby really guides you about what they want doing. And you figure a way how to overcome that challenge through the cries. Right now, I think Mommy just actually changed his bum, so we know his bum's clean.
Yeah.
You're safe there. But, you know, trying to figure out a way how to, you know, when he's having a fussy moment, what it is that he's fussing for. Is he
Right.
gassy? Now, I know that that's obviously things that you're going to learn, but I think one of the things that you have to know is, first of all, the baby is, if you just keep your hand at the back there, is the baby is much tougher than you think, okay? Although we always want you to be very careful. Practice does make perfect. Do you want to pass him back? Because I know you're looking a little...
You know what? It's
I
not
gotta say-
James's fault. I noticed that
No.
baby Leo was looking for his boobies.
Yes,
so there's
yes.
nothing in there. Sorry, you're not going to find any milk in James.
Don't worry. And I know you're feeling a little awkward there, but...
There's so much to think about, but one of the points that I want to get across for this as well is just for a couple to take time to be together, and that could just be over a cup of coffee, or it could be a walk together with the baby in a stroller. You did fabulous, and you guys are going to have a great time with your new baby, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We give it up for the lovely couple here.